on this episode of farmLife.
farmLife.
What are we doing today?
We're gonna be exploring the microbial realm of Kahuku Ranch.
Oh, you know, the bees,
I can hear them over here.
yeah, we have lots of fruiting kind of plants and some perennials that you can just see when they're just busy. And today is like a really super calm day.
Yeah.
You know, here it can go 35. Like last week it was steady 35, 40 and then gusts up 50 to 60. But the bees, they still do whatever they have to do. They somehow, the birds can't make it, but the bees somehow they find a way. You know, it's amazing.
How many hives do you have here?
Well, we don't have any.
No.
Well, okay. We have hives, but they're just, maybe I'm using the wrong word. They're natural, they're organic. Nobody started or maintains them or does anything.
Wild
The
hives.
only ones who visit them are me.
Oh, I see.
You know, and once a long time ago, not knowing, I know nothing, okay, about bees. They were lovely and they were fine and they actually let me harvest a little bit, right?
Mhm.
But we also have the yellow jackets, the
Oh, yeah.
wasps,
Yeah.
and the ground bees.
Yeah.
And they are not nice.
No.
But the honeybees are great. But I have noticed it has really gone down. And there's a lot of beehives on that side, you know, on South Point Road.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, it's just like they're walking and it's like they're stoned or something. Like they're confused or they're slow or they're disoriented. And I kind of pick them up and, you know, put them on a flower and they just kind of like don't do what they're supposed to do, right? So, I feel like whatever it is, like those gals over there said at first it was a parasite. Then I think they said it was a fungus. But somehow they're trying to keep, you know, things alive and clean as best they can. But, of course, you know, they're foraging there and it's a little bit more developed.
Mhm.
So I really do think there is something to, you know, them foraging plants that have been exposed to chemicals and they get sick.
They get
You know?
sick.
And everybody's wondering why. And this just totally makes sense now because here, you know, there's a big buffer, right? And they will usually stay, you know, when we're fruiting. But, you know, they mix. And I do see some come in and they're just lost. It's so sad. And I don't think there's anything I can do to save them once they're that bad. But,
Not really.
you know, there's places where I used to hear it humming like that. Really loud. I could hear it humming.
I can hear that from here.
And I know that the population has suffered because I don't hear it humming as much when they're blossoming.
Do you have hive boxes or are the bees just like wild?
It's wild.
Yeah,
It's
that's
totally
awesome.
wild. And they, you know, they find a way. And there's places, you know, like here, this is only going to happen when the blossoms are coming.
Right.
So like the ohia trees, they're only going to be buzzing when the
Yeah.
blossoms are here. But there's certain places, and I'll take you to another place where during the summer I hear them because I think they're keeping it cool. You know, they're
Yeah.
that sound. But when it's cool like this, I don't really hear it as much. But I'll see, you know, they're flying
Uh-huh.
here and there.
You probably got wild hives here.
Oh yeah, no, we do.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much they've suffered. Do any of you need to use the restroom?
I do.
Okay, come on in. Let's do that first instead of talking.
Yeah, I love old rustic
Cool.
fireplace.
So like even here is just a good place to hang out because you just chill at the end of the day and you get a breeze. Like the house can be stuffy, but you open up a couple windows and inside of 10 minutes it's cool and air. Yeah.
Yeah.
Normally it's blowing, so this is like really a nice, and you just chill here and just like, oh,
Beautiful.
check it out. And
Where
yeah.
do you live? You
I
on
live,
property, but
yeah, like past that tree over there, kind of in the center, so I can see both ways,
yeah.
you know. So yeah, it's pretty cool. We normally rent these 3 houses out, but I think, well, I don't know where it's going to end up, but they're thinking about using this for guests. And then you guys, you know, whoever's going to stay on property and manage the hives would stay there because they're thinking you'll probably pick a spot there or closer to that end for where you're gonna do the work. So I said, well, you know, whatever, and that's the whole reason why you guys need to come out and look at what you think might work.
What area would work best for us?
Yeah. So yeah, even on a calm day, it's got like natural air conditioning. We've got, orange trees over there, fig trees, and the bees also hum when the Christmas berry goes off. The whole cliff is just because they're busy. So it's like it's neat how like one will go down, but another type of tree will go up. So they always have something to eat here if they choose to stay here.
Yeah.
But I thought, well, that would be neat. I mean, it might not be ideal for what you folks are doing, but at least you can hit the ground running and they have food sources here, and then you go and plant, because it takes time, right, to plant what you really need to do.
Yeah.
But, about 200 acres are like this. This is Kikuyu, all the way down. And, we have some invasive grasses and weeds that are just nasty. So when they come up, I have to deal with them. And it's, I've even tried a pickaxe for some of them, but some of them I haven't figured out a really good way to deal with it without using herbicides. But I've been told that we need to work with you to figure out, because we don't want to use anything that would harm the hive, But their thinking was that if you plant the food source, then there's no need for them to go far. So even though, because it's just me and it's a lot of work, I have to use Roundup because I could never, I mean, as it is now, I can't keep up. But I tried to not use Roundup because I don't really care for using chemicals. But I can't do all that work, the weed whack and all of that myself with everything else that we've got to do. So, but it has been done. I did it for like 10 years. And now that I'm older, I can't. I just can't keep up anymore. But I'm open to whatever we need to do. And in the pastures, because they're so thick, they usually will keep 99% of the invasive stuff out. The really nasty stuff like gorse and just, the terrible stuff. But, sometimes if something comes in, I have to nip it in the bud, otherwise it just spreads like crazy, the fireweed, all that stuff. But I think the bees actually go after the fireweed too, right? They harvest from that, any flower, right?
Yeah,
So
toxic to the cattle. So.
Yeah, and so right now we don't have cattle here. We're letting it rest. But I use them. I was kind of like a grass farmer for a long, long time, and the cattle were a tool. And it doesn't have to be cattle, but it just seemed like the best way, and we just rotate them. And when I bring a new herd in, I tame them down so they're like pets. They're not crazy or nuts, and they. I don't need, because some of the Paniolo, the ones that lived here for so many years, they had so many thousands to look after, so it's like, rah, 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 rah. I have a way I tame them down, and then I just call them, or they see me, and they just follow, or do whatever go where I ask them to go. And they go, and they usually, as long as they have food, they don't really break fences unless a poacher comes to try and scare them, or once, in a blue moon or whatever, but they normally don't breach the fences.
I'm gonna look around.
Yeah, go ahead. Please, look around. Because, I actually prefer this house to the nice fancy house that the crew will be staying in, but that's okay.
It's like country house.
Yeah, it's like a plantation house, It's got a lot of history to it. All of them do. House, and I gotta do this and that. No. All you gotta do is maintain it, which, you can do.
Normal with any.
Yeah, anywhere you go. But yeah, they're older houses, but it's cool. To me, it feels more like a family house than some kind of sterilized box.
Cookie cutter.
Yeah.
Oh, jacaranda.
Oh, yeah. Now, she has not done well this year.
I could take care of her.
Yeah, you can. Can you make like little babies for me to take?
Oh yeah.
Okay. But this is what happened. You see that one tree growing in the middle?
Oh yeah.
That one tree?
Yeah.
Okay. I made the mistake last year because it was and it's cracked or it's rotten before it
Right.
ripes. And I think it's because it needs fertilizer and water.
Yeah.
You know, that's all. And then it'll be fine. And now it's kind of close to the electrical line. And the electric company told me you need to cut that tree back half the size because it's going to interfere with the lines. But is it true that if you cut the avocado, like that whole branch dies?
It depends on how you cut it. There's something called the 6-inch rule or something like that. Like he's better at
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But
You gotta prune it in the right place.
Yeah,
It depends
see?
on the nodes.
And
yeah.
so I'm afraid to cut it. And like even like over there with like the pine trees, like these, if you cut it the wrong way, the whole tree
the
dies.
whole tree dies.
Yeah. So it's like, somebody who knows what they're doing has to do it. I can't.
See where it Ys? Like
Yeah.
those two main branches there, where it Ys closer to the top, you got to get it right at the Y there.
Oh, is that
Yeah.
what it is?
Hmm
Yeah.
Ah.
Like you can't just go half.
Like yeah. and I might kill the whole tree, right?
Because all the nutrients comes, from what I understand, all the nutrients goes to what it thinks is alive, and then when it's dead, you know, the outer elements and the death there. Now those nutrients come back into the tree, and they're infected.
Interesting. But yeah, and it's funny, like, sometimes you have big storms and a big branch will fall off, and that's how I figured it off, because if it falls at the wrong place or breaks at the wrong place, like most of the tree dies,
Yeah. Well, we definitely like taking care of trees.
Cool. All right, so I'm going to take you guys to the co-op. I'm like crazy. So yeah, the way I think it might work out is, you folks leave, if you like it, and they get the money, they're going to buy, right? But in the meantime, I still have to keep growing. So one of the main attractions is this orchard that you're going to see. I thought it would be an ideal testing place for you folks after you buy it. But if you put the hives down there before, I may not be able to show it, to buyers with bees all over the place. So, yeah. Think about...
What if I told you the bees were charmed? Would you believe me?
I would if you told me. I know you were excited.
Well,
But, they take what they can get.
so you have like on the outskirts of the land, you have a lot of that? Yeah.
And I leave those black ants alone because they don't bite me.
Yeah, those are great ants.
They're everywhere on this ranch.
Good.
And I leave them alone. The only thing I am religious about is if strangers come, I do spread stuff to kill the fire ant. Because so far, the fire ant no poke me,
Good.
right? So if people come in and I look at the car and it looks like it might have stuff, seeds, what I do. But this stuff, they actually grew this for the poles to catch marlin and ahi. But you could even just cut this, and I don't even know what a florist would pay. New Year's, how we have the Japanese have the bamboo in their thing, right, for good luck. But I haven't done that. I just it's holding. This is the best part of the road. If it was up to me, I would plant bamboo all along the road because
keep
it
the road
holds.
intact.
Look at how perfect it is. I just don't clear it. I let it naturally hold. And up there and down here is where I have problems, where there's no bamboo. It's just that when these big buggers fall, like sometimes during a storm, everything comes down to the ground, and it takes me alone months to
Trim
get it like this
Yeah,
because it just falls, right? And so now when things fall, if there's a small storm, I just throw it on the side. It kind of helps to keep the road and just throw it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a really cool bamboo. And you might see this, yeah?
Yeah. Pit.
A geologist told me, like 40,000 years ago, not that he was alive then, so I wouldn't know, but it sank. So it wasn't a crater that erupted and imploded.
Yeah.
It just dimples. There's this one, a medium one, and a big one.
Really?
Yeah, there's 3 of them. And I thought the big one might be a really cool place for you guys to do like some kind of separate growing program that's more protected. And because I graded the road, I want to say like 10 years ago. It needs some work, but you can still get it to where you could drive down if you wanted to. So it's pretty cool.
Did you see that ground wasp that was right here?
Yeah, I'm sure they're here.
I've been studying them, and they are evolving. They are learning to pollinate.
Are they?
Yeah, and that blows my freaking mind.
You know what? I was wondering, because I saw one hanging around a blossom, and I thought, bro, you lost? Because then, what I do is if I have to work somewhere, I'll put some blood or something on a towel, on a bucket, and then leave it over there, and then they all kind of go like towards a protein source or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw a couple. I thought they were just confused.
Oh, they're pollinating over by the volcano is where I first noticed it. I've been studying ever since, and I wanna get a hive going.
Yeah, I tell you, we have the black wasp. We have the which I haven't trimmed too much. The road actually goes, it's supposed to go that much further in, but I let it kind of go wild because there used to be a big hive back there with the wild coffee, way back in there, and that's where I took that honey I told you a long time ago.
Okay.
And this place used to hum, like during the day like this, it'd be humming. But I noticed I don't hear it too much. So just leave it alone.
Oh, there's a wild hive here. I could tell.
Yeah. So they're in there, you can't see the people where I fall for them small, right? They're back there. Mamaki tree, which is usually I'm used to seeing as a shrub. I figured out it's like 3 times the size of this tree, but it's a mamaki tree. It's huge. It might have been one of the first planted by the Polynesians when they came.
Oh.
They're that big.
It's like the grandmother
It's like
tree.
I can't reach the leaves. It's so big. And I figured out when I saw the dead leaf, I said, hey. So I took it to someone and they said, yeah, it's mamaki.
Are those decorative?
Huh? No. They need fertilizer badly, but it's a mixture of orange, tangelos, tangerines, there's lemons, limes. Yeah?
This one looks like it's decorative, but then it just needs fertilizer, huh?
Yeah. No fertilizer. That's all they need and they'll be fine. And they'll be sweet. They used to be really big, sweet. You know the ugly
bark.
kahuku orange with the blemishes on them?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful fruit.
Chakras. It's the butthole right here.
But this tangerine, so far, it's still a little sweeter. So if you get if it's not totally orange, it's kind of a little sour. But if you pick one that's really orange, it's not bad. It's just full of seeds, but it tastes sweeter.
Is this trail from
That's
pigs?
the ones I used to. Oh, that's my babies.
Babies.
My piggy babies.
Oh, you have
You
piggies.
see their baby?
Yeah.
My
yeah,
wild babies. When they get orphaned.
Oh.
Your
Good.
baby.
Oh, cool.
what?
Yeah, no, so it is pig trail then.
Baby
Awesome.
just 4 pigs. 4 orphans. Well, I had to, put down my mother because she was losing health. So put her down, and now because of that, I have to take care of her babies. That's the deal.
Well, I mean, that when you put down her mother, did you get to eat her?
Yeah, I gave it to one of the cowboys who needed to clean. Some of them are not meat to put. Not cowboys who clean things. And this one is particularly 100% alive. So if he asks for something and they're hungry, I will go shoot a goat or a pig or whatever. And I'll just bring it to him. Or if he doesn't have grandkids around to feed, right away I'll feed it. I know it's hard. No, but yeah, and they end up coming to the house. I mean, I have grandkids too, so it's really scary, the mother creating the moisture. Because even when the grass turns yellow, when I dig 3 feet down, the soil's still wet.
Yeah.
So the root source is fine.